Bro, I've been saying take me to jail for 11 months on every single podcast, and here I am back in jail again. Ha, ha, ha. So I know if they take me back, that's going to be my reaction. I'm going to start fucking laughing because it's a big scam, and scams are hilarious, and injustice is sometimes hilarious. And when it happens to you and you're a tough guy, you can laugh it off. I ain't scared of fucking inmates. I'm good. And Donald Trump, let me tell you something. There are very few 74, 75-year-old men, how old is he in the world, who are tough like fucking him. He's a tough guy. There was a story in New York City, the city that he helped build the skyline of, the city that he used to be the king of. He was the American idol of anyone who wanted to be like Donald Trump back in New York City before it, became a cesspit of toxic communist democracy, communism shithole faggots. So before that, there's a story, I think it was 1980 something. A woman was getting mugged. A guy had a knife to some woman trying to steal her bag. Donald Trump jumped out of his limo when he saw it. He said, "Hey, leave that woman alone." And the guy said, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Trump." Donald Trump's a fucking tough guy. Look at him.
And sad's not going to help them.
And I wish you luck. Good luck.
Anthony Costa, the U.S. was once a constitutional republic. The swampy elite slowly programmed the sheeple to think it's a democracy and got them to gradually give up their freedoms willingly to gain security. It's very interesting. We'd actually do an emergency meeting on this because the only thing that the human psyche will give up freedom for is the idea of safety.
Yeah.
We'll take your freedom away, but we'll make you safe. COVID was a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
We won't let you leave. Your house for your own safety, which is why they also promote cowardice at every turn. When men are brave and they say, I'm in charge of my own safety, I'll keep myself safe, then you can't take their freedom away. But when you have a bunch of cowards who are afraid, you can come along and say, you're all pussies, but we'll keep you safe if you just give up all of your freedom, which is why they promote cowardice. And they do not like bravery. And they don't like masculine tendencies. They don't like people who take risks. They don't like any of that. They want you all to be afraid and live in permanent fear so they can come along with the solution, because their solution for your fear is always to take all of your freedom away and then promise you some degree of safety on the back of it. And it is a fucking scam.
That is true. But if you say COVID wasn't real again, I may have to leave this emergency meeting. Are you guys vaxxed?
Of course.
So what do we do now?
Mask up.
No, we don't put masks on. What do we do?
I'm protecting myself.
I don't know whether to be sad.
Goddamn myself.
I don't know whether to be sad or laugh about this garbage. What should we do? You've got the hat on, smart ass.
Should
we be sad?
We should trust the legal process.
No, we shouldn't. Okay. Should we be sad that they're doing exactly what we knew they were going to do, or should we be happy that they've woken the world up to their insanity?
Let me tell you something.
Sure. Today,
Robert Fico was discharged from hospital. Okay. Robert Fico is a politician. He's the president, the democratically elected president of Slovakia, and he's anti the big pharmaceutical companies, anti the big war companies. He's on the right side of history, this man. And this man wasn't a very well-known person. I knew who he was because I used to live in the country. Marcel, you probably never heard the name. A lot of you guys in this room and watching at home had probably never heard his name because he was the president of the European Union's smallest member state, lowest population, some of its lowest GDP. It's not exactly a major player, Slovakia, on the world stage. However, their idea was to take Robert Fico out. They hired a gunman, but Robert Fico is a fucking tough guy. And they came and they fucking blasted him in the public streets of Slovakia. Now, let me tell you something. Any day now, he's going to start talking again. And when he comes back to speak, he's going to have one of the loudest fucking voices in all of Europe because he is a symbol of resistance and what they will try to do to you if you try to do the right thing. So the attack on him, and obviously it's not fun getting shot a bunch of times. I've never been shot. I hope he has no permanent damage from it. I pray for him every single day since it happened. But that one act of cowardly, snakery bullshit has just amplified a relatively unknown politician's voice to be louder than Italy, France's, Spain's, the Netherlands prime minister, at least for the upcoming years. Me and Andrew got canceled, thrown in jail. We had 600K subscribers on YouTube and we got canceled. We're in jail. We have 2,100,000 on Rumble. More people listen to us than ever before after this bullshit attack. And let me tell you the actual future where I've got my fucking MAGA hat on. You can come for Trump, but Trump's a fucking tough guy. And you can stick him in jail for a few weeks or a few months, but you're not going to fucking stop Donald Trump. And what you've just done is you've galvanized his support base. You've made him twice as fucking popular. Everybody sitting on the fence who has a fucking brain has just moved over to the Trump wagon. His website is currently crashed because of all the fucking donations he's getting. And I think that he's going to become more powerful than he's ever been before. Because that's what happens when you attack people. Robert Fico, me and you, Donald Trump. And that's how I see it going because now people can speak freely. These attacks don't necessarily work.
They're so evil that it's almost a badge of honor to be attacked by these clowns.
Yeah.
Especially with the legal system. And I hope you're right. I think you are right. I hope you're right. I think that this is just the beginning of a long playbook they've laid out. They've sat in a darkened room because they have no interest in democracy and no interest in fairness. And they've sat down and thought, first, we'll find him guilty of this bullshit. Then we'll let him appeal. Then we'll make him lose the election. Then he'll lose the appeal after he's lost the election. So he can't pardon himself. Then we'll lock him up for the rest of his remaining years. And people are just going to swallow it. And they're just going to accept it. And then we'll have the whole country by the balls. And we'll just hijack everything and continue to go to war in Ukraine, hopefully get a nuke sent by Russia and destroy everything. And everybody will die. And we'll hide in our bunkers jerking off to little kids. That's their plan.
Being jerked off by little kids.
Sorry.
The only move they have.
It's the only move they've got. And now they've gone full scorched earth, and they've told us all what they're going to do. And you're right. If Trump gets into power, this whole bullshit sham was a fantastic thing. But we have to make sure Trump gets into power because they have made him more powerful than ever before. And if there's any justice on this planet, it's delivered by God. And it's quite often people with evil, nefarious agendas and plans have them backfire in their face in a way they never expected. But I think most of the American public now are very unhappy with this decision. I think anybody with a brain is unhappy with this decision, especially considering how unpopular the current sitting president is. It's not like it was going after somebody and it was 50-50. This guy had 95% of the population behind him.
So let me ask you this. If the whole thing's rigged, how do you put him in power?
Well, that's it.
The problem.
That's the exact problem. That's what's so interesting about it. And we're going to enter a very interesting period of history where America, the country, which is supposed to be based on free and fair elections and a free and fair judicial system, everyone's realized all of it is a scam head to toe. So how does the country recover from that? And how does the country accept now? Let's say the election doesn't go in Donald Trump's way. They're going to say, we'll go to the Supreme Court. Well, nobody believes in courts anymore. This is the thing. And this is what's so scary about the world. And once again, I'm not advocating for any of this before you throw me in jail. I'm just making it clear about how the world works. Once people lose faith in systems, everything turns to violence. The whole point of these systems is to prevent violence. That's the reason you have courts in the first place. I disagree with person Y. We're going to have a civil lawsuit. We're going to decide who owes who money. The judge is going to be fair, and the system is going to decide where the money is owed. Because in days of old, we just duel.
Yeah.
That's it. So the whole reason you have any of these systems is to prevent violence. And I've discussed before on many emergency meetings that violence is the underpinning of the entire world. Everything is built on top of the threat of violence. A court will say X, Y, Z, and if you don't comply, they will get violent to force you to comply. But the point is, because you know that threat is there, they don't need to use violence, and it prevents the world from being a violent place. When people lose all faith in all of the institutions, that violence is the only answer, towns have lost all credibility on every single level. Every single level, they've destroyed their own credibility by abusing their power. Nobody trusts them anymore at all. And I guess the only thing you have to worry about when you're an American citizen now is the threat of violence, especially in the large cities, because I think it's going to become a very violent place unless they restore faith in these systems quickly. But the people who are in charge of all this shit are so disconnected.
They don't care. There's no violence for them. What, them, their kids, their families? No, they're fine.
It's truly scary. So we need to talk about this in an emergency meeting, Unfair Advantage, which is going to come up next. We're going to go do an Unfair Advantage, which is a broadcast we do exclusively to the real world students. And we talk about how to make as much money as possible from the chaos you see in the world today. If you want to join, you want to see that broadcast, you can sign up for the real world at CobraTake.com or join therealworld.com. Join up, and in about 15 minutes, we're going to have an emergency meeting specifically about how to make as much money as possible from the ensuing chaos. Because one of the benefits, I guess, of globalism, and we can talk about globalists and why they're doing what they're doing, but they implode. It's a very simple seesaw. What they effectively do is they implode countries for forever profit so that other countries can benefit and they can benefit themselves. Traditionally, they were using Africa in the second and third world. They were destroying African nations to enrich themselves, and they were living in first world nations. Now they're going to implode first world nations, and they're going to go live in the Middle East or somewhere else they can hide. But globalism allows rich people to hide and run away from a lot of their problems. And obviously, many patriots want to stay still and fix the problems as they should, but making as much money as possible allows you to be at least adaptable in the face of oncoming change, in the face of oncoming violence. So it's very important now, if you don't understand that the judicial system you live under is a scam, and the medical system you live under is a scam, and the educational system you live under is a scam. Every single system designed to protect you and promote you is completely a lie. You need to get as rich as possible. You need to be panicking if you do not have a lot of money. You can no longer just be a law-abiding citizen who has a normal job and pays his wages, pays his rent, and looks after his family and gets a wage, because a law-abiding citizen no longer exists because the law is not real. You are simply a cog in a machine. You're a cuck to a system which is designed to destroy and exploit you forever. So law-abiding citizens no longer get good lives. You are slaves. There are slaves and there are elites. There are people who bend and break the rules, and there are people who are sit there stuck obeying rules which they don't even understand, which are constantly changing and unfairly and arbitrarily enforced against them. So you can't be a law-abiding citizen anymore, because law-abiding citizens don't exist, because there's no fucking law, which is why you need to get as rich as possible. And this whole sham trial has highlighted that level, which most of you do not even comprehend. If they can do this to Trump, you think they won't do it to you? They won't even get media backlash. When they were setting up the Trump thing, they knew people would care.
Look at the January 6th guys.
Nobody's
name
gonna,
one.
Nobody's going to.
I can name.
Nobody's going to care when they screw you over, friend. No one's going to even talk about it. You're not going to get any Twitter mentions. You're not going to get any MSM. You're going to get nothing. When they drag your ass in there and set you up and wreck you for trying to protect your family, or wreck you for trying to do the right thing, or wreck you for telling your son to keep his balls, you're going to go to jail, and nobody's going to even talk about it. You're going to be insignificant. When Trump gets screwed, at least people talk about it. When we get screwed, at least people talk about it. When you get screwed, unless you get money and get important quickly, nobody's going to even mention your name. You're going to sit in that cell and you're going to rot as a forever nobody. And that's what they intend to do to basically anybody who talks against their agenda. And I've had the asinine rebuttal from the slave-minded as, well, just don't break the law. And I always ask them a very simple question. I say, do you know the law? Well, yeah. What's the law? Don't steal. Okay. Don't kill. Drive the speed limit. I was like, okay, you've named 3 of about 18,000 laws.
And each 18,000 laws have, 4,000 pages each.
You don't know the law.
Lawyers
You've
don't
never
know the law.
read the law. How can you sit and say, I won't break the law if you don't know what it is? And then when you go to a court where you can sit and say, well, I didn't know the law, you expect a judge to treat you fairly. Well, if a judge decides a judge has already decided they want to wreck you, then it's over. None of you know the law. That's why you're all constantly breaking the law. Everybody is permanently guilty of something. And if you get a judge who's out to destroy your life, they're going to do exactly that. And if you're insignificant, nobody's going to even talk about it. And this is what's important. They damage their power by making people lose faith in them. And people lose faith in them when they show their hypocrisy, which means it's very important for you to become as well-known and influential and powerful as possible so that when they finally come for you and damage you, you're like a poison pill, like my brother and I were. They damaged themselves by damaging you because they damaged their credibility in real time.
And Donald Trump is the most poison pill of all.
And they've damaged their credibility massively. And that's why it's extremely important you get as rich as possible quickly. And if you see things like this, perhaps some people may call me crazy, but when I see things like this, I look at my hundreds of millions of dollars and think, shit, I need more money. I do. I'm like, well, fuck, we're fucked. Everything is fucked. I need more money now. It's that bad. You don't have hundreds of millions of dollars. You're living in America and you're broke. And you're just going to, stay there and just sit and just wait?
Well, if I start growing vegetables in my back garden and become self-sufficient.
Preserve some jam?
Off the grid.
Bruv. Live in a fucking shed? Getting jerked off by your 3 wife? You need some cash. Pronto. Bro, you need some cash. Because things are getting bad out here. And the American experiment, and that's what it is. It's an experiment. I think it's the first time in history that a truly multicultural society based on the idea of freedom and democracy has ever been tried, is failing. It's going to collapse. And it's not going to collapse pretty. Empires never collapse pretty. They only collapse one way, with burning buildings and barbarians and savages running the streets, decapitating people at random. That's what happens when empires collapse. You can study the fall of nearly any empire. It all ended the same way. It was never just, it's fine. Let's try something else. That's not how it works. And the American ship is sinking. And you have people right now inside of the elites of the American system, the deep state, and the people who are inside the political class and the people who are inside of the banking class who understand the ship is sinking. So what they're trying to do is loot it for everything they can before it sinks. We're on the Titanic. We've already struck the iceberg. They know they've got a seat on a lifeboat. So now they're going through room to room, taking all the jewelry and gold they can get before they get on that lifeboat.
And you're staring at the fucking menu wondering what to order for dessert.
Like a dumbass. They have no interest in trying to fix the boat. They have no interest in trying to repair the damage done by the iceberg. They're just trying to loot it for everything they can. That's why they keep passing these stupid laws. Let's print 85 billion for fuck knows what. Let's print 92 billion for transgender dick fests. They just make up money and steal it all because they know it's all going to blow up. And guess who's left on the Titanic when it all sinks? You. Unless you get enough money to get the fuck off. You need to buy yourself a seat on the lifeboat. Pronto.
I will not have you insult transgender dick fest again on my podcast.
I can't wait till we're free, Tristan. We start going to these pride rallies and getting a fucking.
We're
gonna get in a Royal Rumble with fags.
I can't wait till we're in jail.
Right, unfair advantage, guys. We're gonna do an unfair advantage. We're gonna talk about this Trump verdict, what it means for people who are trying to make money, because chaos is opportunity. And if you see these things, if you feel an emotional response to them, if you're upset by them, as you should be, you should use all of that emotional energy to try and get as rich as possible. And we're going to teach you how inside of the real world. You can join the real world at jointherealworld.com. Before I leave, I'm going to see if there's any more super chats to read out. W Tate, W Fresh and Fit. I appreciate the.
What I see, now I know I have met an angel in person. She looks perfect. I don't deserve this. You look perfect tonight.
Red cups and sweaty bodies everywhere. Hands in the air like we don't care. Cause we can have so much fun now. But somebody here might get some now. If you're not ready to go home, can I get a help? No. Cause we're gonna go all night till we see the sunlight. Alright, so la-dee-da-da-dee. Oh, we like to party and dancing with Molly, doing whatever we want. This is our house, this is our roof, and we can't stop, and we won't stop. Can't you see it's we who own the night? Can't you see it's we who about that life? And we can't stop, and we won't stop. We run things, things don't run. We don't take nothing from nobody. Yeah, yeah, it's our party, we can do what we want. It's our party, we can say what we want. It's our party, we can love who we want. We can kiss who we want, we can see who we want. To my homegirls here with the big butt, shaking it like we at a strip club. Remember, only God could judge you. Forget the haters, somebody loves you. Everyone in line in the bathroom, trying to get a line in the bathroom. We also turn up here, getting turned up, yeah, yeah. So la-dee-da-la-dee, oh, we like to party and dancing with Molly, doing whatever we want. This is our house, this is our roof, and we can't stop, and we won't stop. Can't you see it's we who own the night? Can't you see it's we who about that life? And we can't stop, and we won't stop. We run things, things don't run. We don't take nothing from nobody.